Hey everyone, it's Danielle again, and I just finished a project, um, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I'm super excited about it. And I figured since I have been spending so much time over the last couple months making stuff for craft shows and doing Christmas knitting and crocheting and everything, that since I was done with all that, I needed, excuse me, I needed to make something for myself that I would enjoy making. So I did that. And there is a tutorial on YouTube that is by Pleasant Seas. And the title of the video is Hat of the Month, January 2013, Hermione's Godric's Hollow Hat. And this is the tutorial that I used when I was making my knitted ear warmers, that little textured bit in the center in between the ribbing. I got that textured pattern from this tutorial. So I decided, since I liked knitting those so much, I was going to go ahead and make the hat because I really liked the look of the hat. So that's what I did. And I've had some success in the past with knitting hats, but they were just, like a little, maybe like an inch or so of 1x1 ribbing and then just, straight knitting. And they were, kind of slouchy, but they're, I felt like they were fitted too tight on my head. Like I should have went up a needle size or added more stitches when I started just the straight knitting, and I didn't. So even though they look nice, I still wasn't completely satisfied with those either. Because, I am, a very beginner knitter. Or at least I consider myself a very beginner knitter. I don't know all the knitting lingo and, you know, really fancy patterns and stuff. I've never done anything like that. But I decided I wanted to make this hat. I was going to follow the tutorial and, to the best of my ability, complete the hat to look like the one in the tutorial. So that's what I did. And I'm just going to say that when I decided to knit this, I just went to one of my yarn bins and I just pulled out a skein of yarn. Because I wasn't sure how much yarn it was going to take. I wanted to use a full skein to make sure that I had enough. And the first thing I grabbed was this. It's Loops and Threads Impeccable. And it's in the color Arbor Rose. And it is, yes, it looks very bright. It's not quite, well, that might be closer. This right here color might be closer to actual color. But as you can see when you turn it this way, it looks like really neon pink. And it's not neon pink, but it is a brighter pink. It's kind of a coral pink. But I knew I would have enough in this size ball to complete the hat for sure. I actually used probably about half of this skein, and it is, or it was, 268 yards. So probably around about 130 yards I used to make this hat. So without further ado, I'm going to show you the hat. So here's the hat. It is knit on size 8 circular needles. At the bottom it has 1x1 ribbing. for about an inch, and then you start into this textured part, which is the same textured bit from my headbands. And it looks, to somebody that's a beginner knitter at least, it looks like it would be more complicated than what it is. But I promise you, if you can make, you know, just a garter stitch scarf, or, you know, a stockinette scarf, if you can knit and purl, you can make this hat. Because that's all there is to it, is just knitting and purling. And then you knit the textured part for 6 inches and you start the decreases. Once you get to a certain point, I was using the size 8 16-inch circular needles. Once you get to a certain point in your decreases, you will have to switch to double pointed needles. I use these by Yarnology. I got them at Hobby Lobby. They are acrylic double pointed needles in size 8. This is what the package looks like. These were $4 for a set of 5. And I do have to say, I don't know if it was due to the double pointed needles, the fact that they are acrylic, which, you know, to me is just fancy for plastic. I don't know if it was the fact that they are the acrylic double points, or if it was the combination between the acrylic double points and the acrylic yarn, or what, but I do want to make this hat again. Probably in like a gray, something that's not so bright, something that's more neutral and will go with more of my clothes. But I think I'm going to, before I knit it again, get me a set of metal double pointed needles in a size 8, because I didn't have, it didn't seem as fiddly and like as hard to get the yarn in, or the needles in, to do the decreases when I was on the circular needles as it did when I used these. So, but there's the hat. And you just keep decreasing till you, the tutorial says till you get down to 10 stitches. Once I got down to the point where I had to be on double pointed needles, I put mine on 3 double points because I had 6 sections, so I put 2 sections on each needle because they had a marker marking where I needed to do the decreases. Stitch marker, that's it. So I put 2 sections on each needle and used 3 needles to hold my stitches and the 4th one to work with. So I decreased it down to 12 stitches, not 10. And I think that I was trying to get the decrease part there. I think the decreases come out looking fine with the 12. And then you just, you know, cut your yarn and run your needle through the live stitches and pull it closed and tie it off, sew it in, and ta-da! So this is what it looks like on. It is slouchy, and I like that. I guess if you didn't want a slouchy hat, you could just not knit it as far. You could start decreasing before the 6 inches. But I really like how it came out, and I'm really glad that I successfully made a hat that I like the fit of it. or knit a hat rather, because my crocheted hats are fine. But you know, I'm newer to knitting, and this is my first time ever working on double pointed needles, and I think I did a pretty good job. So, excuse me. I'm going to end this video, but I wanted to say before I go that yesterday, my family did their Christmas yesterday, because where my sister lives out of town, and her and her husband need to celebrate Christmas with his son, her stepson, and his family also. We don't always do our Christmas on Christmas, but we still all are together and have Christmas. And so I had a great time because I was with my family. But yesterday was a very hard day for me. And I was very upset yesterday. December 22nd every year is a very hard day for me. And I'm not going to go into saying why, because I don't really know if it's something that I want to discuss with just anybody and everybody that can come onto YouTube and watch my videos. But there was somebody from YouTube that seen something that I had posted online, and you know, this person, I'm not gonna say who they are, because me and this person had a conversation online, and I told this person why I was upset, and this person shared something also very personal to her, shared it with me, and I just want this person to know, you know who you are, because you're the only person that I talked to about this yesterday. I want you to know that you sharing your story with me really meant a lot to me. And it meant a lot to me because I felt like that you cared enough about me and why I was hurting. You cared enough to share your story with me. And I want to thank you for that, because it meant a lot to me. It made me feel not so alone in what I was going through yesterday. And I really want to thank you, because it really helped me yesterday, because a lot of times even though, you know, obviously my family is here for me, and they know, you know, why it upsets me. You know, they went through that with me. I still sometimes feel like they don't truly understand, like that they can't possibly truly understand what that did to me. But when you shared your story with me, I felt like that you could understand. So, and of course I'm crying again, but it's okay. I just want you to know it meant a lot to me. And I really appreciate you thinking enough to share that with me. But, anyways, I'm going to go for now. And I hope that everybody has a very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a good whatever you celebrate, or just a good Wednesday. You know, if you've already done Christmas with your family, or, you know, you have it and you're going to do it later or whatever,